Welcome to Shoot the Breeze, a series on a podcast that celebrates the messiness of life, relationships, and Christianity, featuring my wife Lacey and myself, Nathan. It's creatively titled because it will be just us shooting the breeze, sometimes with guests, while occasionally saying something important. We hope you enjoy. Are you ready to begin?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm ready to begin.
Let me just get some more coffee here.
There
I'm
we
just
go.
Gonna...
Okay.
All right.
So...
Quick question for you and your OCD.
Yeah.
When you put your coffee cup down, do you have to make sure that it lands directly on the circle of the coaster? Because I'm guessing you do.
That's none of your business.
Don't
you got to make sure that the tree is facing.
Oh, the tree is facing correct. We have coasters with trees on them. And I had the thought as I was putting my coffee down that with Nathan's OCD-like tendencies that he probably can't handle the idea of the mug being off. So I'm just going to put mine like that for funsies.
If you really wanted to mess with me, you do that.
There we go. Like halfway on, halfway off. Can you focus?
At least on the coaster. At least put it on the coaster.
Fine. So hi. Hey, you.
We got a new groomer.
New groom?
New groomer for our dog.
Yeah, that's not interesting.
That's not?
No.
It's interesting for us.
Well, I don't know if we got a new groom or not because I've not actually picked her up yet. So if she looks terrible, I'm not going to stay with this one.
Right. Did dropping off go well?
Yes, it did indeed. We have a golden doodle, and so she has to be groomed it's good to get them groomed more often than not. If you keep the dog foofy, like, with specialty haircuts, then you got to do it every few weeks. We go every few months and just shave her down.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, literally everything. Some people, especially with a poodle mix or poodle, they'll leave the ears and tail long, or paws, or variations, the muzzle. We were like, everything goes.
just shave it.
Everything goes.
Right. But she's so much happier when we get her groomed because she's not as hot.
Right, but the first few days, she's always self-conscious. It's really funny. Yes,
it is. Fun facts about owning a golden doodle.
So we, I feel like in the 20, I think this is podcast 21.
Is it?
Yeah, we've exhausted all of the things that we know.
No, we haven't.
All of the subject matter that is in our brains. We have no more subject matter.
Why would you lead with this? Is a terrible segue. This is the worst promotion you could come up with.
Promotion? No. So
keep listening. It's going to be awesome.
No, it'll theoretically get better from here. You start with low expectations, and those who keep listening, by the end, they're like, wow, that was fantastic.
It's not how you know.
No, here's the thing though. You always tell me I oversell.
You do oversell,
things.
but there's a difference. There's some middle ground between overselling and underselling. I know middle ground isn't your favorite place to be.
Listen, I am one extreme or the other.
There's definitely some land there.
Either I'm gonna oversell something or completely.
Okay, I'm taking it from here.
Wait, real quick. On the matter of overselling, I got us treats tonight for family night.
Are they like donuts, things that Ari and I can't eat?
No. Everyone. I got every single person in our family a treat.
You got some ice cream, didn't you?
I did.
I'm
so excited.
He's been like wanting ice cream every night, and I just look at him and he says to me, "Should I run to H-E-B and get ice cream?" And I look at him and I say, "No, you can't eat ice cream every night. That's not."
Hold on, I want those of you listening.
You can't do that.
Back me up here. Yes, you can eat ice cream every night. There is no reason.
No, it's not good for you.
Listen, in a time and culture.
Quick question.
Where I do what I want and nobody can judge me for it, I can and will eat ice cream every night.
Quick question though.
Yeah.
Where are you storing the ice cream in this office with no freezer?
No, I already dropped it off at home.
Oh, okay. All right. That was just housekeeping. Real quick. It's not in the car.
Personal housekeeping real quick.
80 degrees.
Okay. Do you want to try a segue?
Yeah, of course. So back in the day, Nathan and I, well, not back in the day, I guess we're still leading a small group, but we've always really led small groups. And am I too close again? We've always led small
See,
groups.
I actually got these table stands so I can move it without having to...
Nice. So we always have led small groups for churches, and one of the things, especially if you have teenagers or young adults, you want to have icebreakers because it just helps everybody laugh. And once people laugh, they feel a lot more comfortable.
Well, and get to know each other without having that awkward, like, oh, what are we going to talk about?
Right.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like if you laugh with somebody, you enjoy them so much more.
Oh, yeah.
Right off
sure.
the back. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of friend you want to hang out with? The one that you laugh with, or the one that you feel awkward with all the time? I mean...
Yeah, probably the one I laugh with.
Yeah.
Well, and the hard part is, it is that awkwardness that makes me laugh.
No. Mm-mm. It's because
What if
you're the awkward friend.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So with that in mind, we got this book. How long ago? Maybe
So long ago.
15, 10-ish.
Well, and we also have...
I haven't said a number.
we have
A long time.
numbers and things. We also have so many icebreaker board games like Would You Rather, Worst Case Scenario.
Yeah,
where you have to
we
pick
always
stuff.
put our own
so many
like
things.
spin on
Yeah.
it. But this book has been one of my favorite ones because it is
Wait, pause.
what?
Speaking of putting spins on things, can you please talk about Bowl of Judgment? Because I feel like those people who are listening, if they're game people,
Okay.
every single person that we've talked to about this, they're like, I love that.
Okay, so Nathan and I love board games. I know there's two camps. There's like the party game camp and the strategy game camp.
Right.
And nary the two shall meet.
We are both.
But we are both. Generally, though, if I gotta be with a big group to be a party game, like into the party game mode.
Right, yeah.
But if I'm doing like just the friends and I want to talk and stuff, I love the strategy games. Like Dominion, or we got his parents addicted to Ticket to Ride and all that. But so we
awesome.
love both. We like
Yeah.
both sides. So one of the party games that we used to do that I love so much was Trivial Pursuit. And I know you're thinking, Trivial Pursuit, that is a really annoying game that I hate. But wait, don't
It's a
give
game
up
that
on
nobody
me
knows
yet.
the answers to because it's
Yes,
so old.
which I love. I love that because so what you do is you get a team. You got to go in teams. You
Right.
can't do individuals. And when you have your teams, the problem you'd run into with Trivial Pursuit is people wouldn't even try. They'd be like, I don't care who was the FBI, the head of the FBI in the 80s, and they'd be
Right.
like, not even give it a thought. Well, when you add a little motivation, like negative motivation, then they really, really try. And so I made up a version of Trivial Pursuit called Trivial Pursuit Bowl of Judgment. And what you do is before everybody starts playing the game is you make these horrible, terrible consequences that people have to do, like eat a concoction made by the opposing team from your fridge, or drink water.
No,
A certain amount of I'll say that one. A certain amount of water for the rest of the game. Just all these things that were.
Or like one of the ones I do remember is you have to drink. It was like 5 pint-sized glasses of water before your next turn.
Yeah,
And
stuff
so,
like that.
or like go to your neighbor's house and get a roll of toilet paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we would make them kind of, fun to do as
Yeah.
a team, but kind of miserable. And then some of them we do like grace tokens where they draw one and it'd just be like a pass. Like they wouldn't have to do
Or you get a
anything.
free pie.
Or you get a
That
free pie.
always-
That was a good one.
That always got people
And
upset.
our very favorite one that we'd always play is that the whole team had to be blindfolded, thrown in the back of a car, and dropped off somewhere in town. And
you
they'd
have
have
to
to
find their
make
way
their
back.
way back in a certain amount of
Yeah.
time. Or they have to draw again.
Yeah.
When you play it that way, a whole new dynamic takes place.
You only
So
get, what's
fun.
funny is you only get about like 10 cards done. But yeah, it's way
Well,
more
you
fun.
should see the way that people rack their brains trying to come up with answers.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so yeah, we
one.
did bullet judgment. That was
So anyway, so we've done different stuff. That's not an icebreaker. That's more for a game night. But this book we would always draw questions from.
Right.
It's 4,000 questions of getting to know anyone and everyone. But one of the ways that we would play is we'd have somebody pick a page number and a number between like 1 and 10, and then they'd have to answer whatever question came up.
Oh yeah.
So Nathan and I are going to play amongst ourselves today.
Okay.
So, and maybe we can put a spin on it too.
What would the spin be?
Is that I have to guess what you're going to say.
Ooh, first? We have to be, we're doing, okay, so we have to do like honesty.
Yeah. So
Honesty,
first of all, though, let's just play where we do it normal.
Okay, normal. Okay.
So pick a number between 1 and 270.
165.
Okay, 165. All right. So
I was going to say with this book, there is a whole section ripped out though. No. The reason I say that is because if we skip a whole number, that's why.
1 through 14.
1 through 14? Mm-hmm. 11.
Okay. 11. I know how you're going to answer this one.
Okay.
So, I'm going to pick a different one.
No, you have to at least read the question though, so they know.
Oh.
Or can you?
The question was, if pills fulfilled nutrition and nourishment, would you take them?
No.
And give up eating and cooking? And I knew you'd say no. So I want to ask him more of an open-ended question.
Okay. I like food too much.
I'm going to
like the flavor.
I'm going to ask you two.
What? Mm-hmm. You're just making up
spinning
rules.
it, yeah. So the first one is, do you consider yourself handsome?
Mildly.
Like, on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
where would you rank yourself?
On a scale like 10 being I could
Hot.
like I could potentially model.
Yeah. Like Calvin Klein model.
Oh, wait. Could it be a different model? Like, because I
Just
feel like
Calvin Klein.
because
That's
Calvin
the
Klein's
only
like
modeling
underwear.
company calling.
Well, it'd definitely be like not underwear modeling.
Okay, so what brand would you want to call? That's a good question.
I'm just
like
thinking...
Tommy Bahama. Like, are you fully embracing your dadness by this point?
So I would put myself probably at a 6.5, 7.
A 0.5, 7. That's kind of like your height. You put yourself at a 5'6".
I'm 5'6" and 3/4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I
right,
put myself
okay.
at a 6.5.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're handsome.
What would you put me at?
Okay, next question. What is the best way?
So I assume it's
die?
lower than 6.5. What's the best way to die? Mm-hmm. Oh, easy. In surgery.
Oh yeah, so that's like a spin on in your sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in your sleep, you're still aware of, like, you can still be aware of your faculties and stuff like that. And so, like, in surgery, it's like, you count back from 99, 98, 97, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh, Jesus. Hi.
Do you want to know, like, a secret fear of mine?
What?
I don't even think I've ever told you this. Is that if I do die in my sleep, my dreams are so wild, I won't even know. And Jesus will have to be like, by the way, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because I won't clue into it. I'll just be like, this is mad, this is amazing, as I'm like flying through the air or whatever it is. Because my dreams are so crazy.
You do have crazy dreams.
I know.
Yeah, so...
They're always... I wake up and I tell Nathan, you got to hear this because I can't even make this stuff up. It's so wild.
Yeah, it is crazy. You are one of the most vivid, like, just constantly dreaming people.
Right. Have I shared on the podcast my dream with Norm Macdonald? It's my favorite dream I've ever had.
No, you have to share it, though. You
okay,
have to.
So years ago, and I still remember it because it was such a... I mean, I woke myself up laughing hysterically because it was so funny. So I'm watching, in my dream, I'm watching this pool like someone would, that's an announcer for an Olympic Games, you know? So I'm watching this pool and I have this bird's eye view and I'm watching these Olympians come up to dive. Well, here comes Norm Macdonald. And I know a lot of you aren't going to know who Norm Macdonald is, but
Google him.
He was a comedian in the 90s and he was funny. He was on SNL. He kind of goofy. He had a goofy shtick that he did. But he comes up and he's getting ready to dive. And so the announcers are talking about all of his stats, you know, what he's good at, what he's done well, what they're expecting out of him for this dive. Well, he comes up and he goes to jump. Well, as he's jumping, the camera follows him up and then down. But what happens is instead of going like straight down swan dive, he hits the side of the pool, like misses the pool and crashes into the cement. And the announcers are like talking, you know, giving the stats and all of it, and they're like, oh my goodness, he missed the pool. He missed the pool. And so their Norm is laying on the concrete, just crumpled in this bloody mess. And everybody's freaking out, and the announcers are talking like they're just not knowing what to do. Well, then, you know, medics are rushing out. Well, all of a sudden you see Norm kind of like move his shoulder and then like move his other shoulder, and he's kind of lying to the side of the pool, and you see him kind of like harump himself to the side, and they're like, what? The announcers are going, what is happening? Oh, I cannot believe this is happening. He is finishing the dive. He's finishing the dive. And he kind of like rolls himself over and plops himself into the water, and he has this big goofy like bloody grin on his face as he's like bobbing up and down in the water. Kind of a takeoff of when runners hurt themselves and they limp across he's finishing the dive. Whose brain does that to them?
But you constantly have these dreams. That's the thing.
Oh, I know.
These are not just like,
no,
like, oh man, once a year. This is almost like a weekly thing where you have such vivid, some of them are hysterical, some of them are, you know, crazy weird. You just are a dreamer, and so you have all these crazy dreams.
I know. We've been watching The Office again, and didn't I dream last week that I was in love with Jim from The Office? And I woke up, I was laughing so hard because it was like, I looked at Nathan, I'm like, I think we've been watching too many episodes.
You can never watch too many episodes of The Office.
But generally my dreams are influenced by, well, I wouldn't say that. I do have to be careful about what I watch, but the weirdness factor.
So I was going to say that's the other catch with Lacey's dreams, is she has to be very aware of what she's watching, because they'll impact her dreams in a negative way, meaning like she can't watch things that are too gory or
nasty or sick, like, you know, the weirdo CSI kind of psychological-y stuff.
I was gonna
Forensic Files. Oh,
so I love those.
I hate
but Lacey can't watch those because it does, she has such vivid dreams of stuff, and so she's like, no, I'm out.
And they're gross.
Oh, debatable.
Okay, so you had your questions.
Oh yeah
Your one question.
All right, so go pick a number.
Okay, 5.
Oh, page 5. Okay. Ooh, okay.
What section is
Page
that?
5 is contents.
Well, no, you gotta look at the numbers on the side there.
Baby, you said 5.
No, well, you gotta pick.
Contents.
Oh, okay. 15.
15, okay. There we go. Get up there. Ooh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. 1 through 15.
1.
1, okay. Did you ever play hooky?
From school?
Yeah.
I was homeschooled, so no. that was impossible.
Okay.
Lame question.
You're the one that picked it. Ooh, what was the most frightening event from your childhood?
Like scary?
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Seriously, you can't think of anything? Like, I have like 3 right off the bat.
For you?
Yeah. But it's not my question, so I'm not going to say them.
What was I? Okay. I do have one. This has to do with sleeping again.
Okay.
So, when I was about 5 years old, so if my uncle ends up listening to this, I don't even know if I've ever told you this story. So I was...
Oh, I have another frightening one for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like 5, I want to say, around that age. And I remember getting up in the middle of the night, and my uncle was babysitting us. And I go down the stairs, and on our stairwell, you could see the TV in the other room. And so I go downstairs because I was scared and I wanted to find an adult. And I go down there, and I remember seeing the TV playing the news. And on the news, the guy was talking about how there was this doll that was going around killing people. And it had like footage, and I just remember freaking out. And so I was so terrified from that point on that dolls would kill you. And at the time, the My Buddy dolls came out, and I figured it out years ago, or that my uncle was watching Chucky. And I happened to come in during the really wrong time. But I was terrified for years and years and years about that. Just so scared.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. This is one of the many resources we make available for free at our website, cultivaterelationships.com. Our resources have helped people grow in their relationship with God and others. We've seen people set free from uncontrollable anger and paralyzing fear. We've witnessed estranged family members be reunited after working through our Freedom Booklet. We've helped people build healthy relationship and coping habits through our coaching videos. And all of these resources are made available for free because of the generous support of people like you. If you would like to become a partner, please visit cultivaterelationships.com/support. Now, I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. The one I was thinking of is when you had to clean out that one house.
Oh, that's a bad one too. Yeah, this is another uncle.
Lacey's.
I have uncles. I go to my uncle 1 year after summer. It was in between seasons at our Bible school, and I had come home, and my uncle hired me and my brother to clean out this investment house that he had bought on a kind of a rundown side of town, and so he was gonna flip it. And the problem though is it was like just filled with trash, just basement, main floor, upstairs, and actually had a third floor just filled to literally every room to the ceiling was filled with just trash. And so much so that he had originally thought he'd just need one dumpster, and by the time it was said and done, he needed to order like 3 or 4 40-foot dumpsters. And so the whole time my brother and I are just hauling stuff out. Well, you can imagine there was just like rats and bugs and hypodermic needles and just like really nasty stuff. So and gross. In every room, I just remember my brother and I kind of bracing ourselves, like, what will we find in this room? Like by this point, we were just beyond
you guys
disgusted.
I was gonna say, you guys had worked yourself up.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and you were confident there was a dead body.
Well, no. By all intents and purposes, there was like just hordes of just disgusting things everywhere, and it just would get worse and worse. As we got further into the house. Well, our very last thing to clean out was this entry closet, and so. The problem with it, though, is we could not, for the life of us, get the door open. And so we're working on it. Well, we'd so psyched ourselves out, like you had said earlier. Yeah. We convinced ourselves that this closet held a dead body, that it had skeleton. I mean, obviously not a fresh one because it didn't smell, but we were convinced. And so eventually we were so freaked out we couldn't do it. We had to call our dad to come down and open the door and go through it because... done. It was like gross. The very last thing. But
do you remember when we lived in it was when we'd lived in Alaska, and we went to a home and there was like 9 cats and it smelled like cats, and Lydia walks into the house and goes, I like this home.
Oh, gross. Yeah, we knew we'd have to worry about her a little bit after that.
She'd become a crazy cat lady. Yeah, that is. Yeah. All right, you've had. Okay, go. Let's do 182.
Okay.
And you just picked that. You just picked
All
that
right.
question.
What new devices or machines would you like to have 5 to 10 years from now to make life easier? They cannot involve your disease.
They can't. That's not in the book.
It is. It's right here.
It's right there. It says cystic fibrosis right there. Driving a drivable, non-driving car, non-steerable, not a car I don't have to steer. A car. It's some like. What do you call those?
A driverless car?
Yeah. I just want to sit.
I think Tesla made that. I think it's good to go. I think they're turning them off the lot right now.
Yeah, but not everywhere you can drive. You have to drive on like certain types of roads that
like
have
roads with lines.
Yeah, and so
Alaska's out.
Right. I just want to be able to sit and not drive. Like every time we get into a car, and I'm always like, "Hey, do you want to drive?" Because I hate driving.
Yeah, and
that's a lie. I don't hate driving. I hate I love long road trip driving. I love that. I hate having to go to the grocery store. I just want someone to drive me there.
Or the grocery store is a block away.
Exactly.
Like 1 block.
Yeah.
You could jog there.
Ugh. No, I want someone to drive me places. Like today I went to a grocery store with a friend of mine, and he had asked me to go, and I said, "Hey, are you driving?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, of course." And I was like, "Yes."
Do you know they just arrested someone? I don't know where, but he was riding in the back of his Tesla with the driver.
No.
The feature on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which apparently you're not allowed to do yet. It's not like the Jetsons time yet.
No, you know what I always loved was in iRobots, how the cars would drive for you. I loved that feature. I just want to...
All the movies I've seen where the cars drive for you, they kill you. The cars kill you.
Well, it did actually happen in iRobots.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But I like a lot of the stuff Elon Musk is doing.
Well, good for you.
Tesla's, space.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're a fan.
Okay, my turn. All right, pick a number.
268.
Oh, there is a 268. Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Ooh, ready? Ooh. Okay. When you look at someone who is hugely successful, do you think of him or her as a lucky person who was in the right place at the right time?
No.
What do you think?
I think that they have to be extremely talented to be where they are.
Okay.
Especially in today's day and age. I think people are under the impression it's easier, which I think it is easier to get. I think it's easier to get momentary recognition, but to sustain through a career,
Yeah.
I think that's exhausting.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the amount of energy. I think everybody in show business has personalities like Ariana, where they just can't stop. They can't slow down. Yeah, because you have to be constantly
That's not necessarily
pushing.
true. You think of someone like Steve Martin, who's incredible.
Steve Martin's like the only example you have.
No. There's been multiple.
He's like old school too. He can pay 1 million people to do all of his promotions. What I'm talking about is nowadays.
Yeah. I think it's, like you said, I think like the and I even hate the idea of like the word influencer, because it's like all they are is famous for something they've momentarily done.
Well, and I think the issue with influencers is it's not easy. I mean, you're constantly trying to find new ways to engage and try to compete on that level.
Yeah, but you're just constantly in it for the likes, so you almost default to doing what other people want you to do, not what you personally feel.
Well, if you want to get paid, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the only way to really make it.
Yeah, but no. I think there's a difference, because it's like people who I feel like there's two types of people. Ones who do stuff to get the likes, and then people who are doing things and they happen to get the likes. I'm just using that as the example.
I
happen
think
to get the
they
likes.
Start that way.
No.
But you can't sustain it that way.
Doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
No. I think that's probably the most successful people. So, like, for example, we were talking about Elon Musk. He's just doing what he's doing.
And he's also the third wealthiest man in the world.
Right,
so,
but
yes,
he's not...
he can do what he wants forever. His children's children can do what they want.
But that's the thing is I think you are the most successful when you're doing like you, like who you are. I think you're the most...
No, I don't think so. Because
you're the most longevity success.
I agree in a wisdom sense and as your life goes, but as a famous person, no, you have to be willing to do what other people want you to do all the time.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No.
Okay, we need some people to weigh in on this because Nathan and I disagree.
Because
I'd like to hear if you guys think that everybody who's famous are all originals and doing what they want to do, or if they're all sold out doing what other people want them to do.
I didn't say all. We were just talking. I said I feel like the most longevity, like the long-term successful people are people who do things for themselves, not for other people.
You're skewing my words. I feel like... Okay, and we can only use one bracket here.
Yeah.
Famous... So we're looking more towards entertainers.
Sure.
As far as...
But
I know you keep bringing up Elon, but I'm thinking of entertainers. I think you have to be extremely successful to be an entertainer in whatever field that is. Acting, singing, whatever.
Yes. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But I don't think that you're going to sustain that financially or publicity-wise unless you do what other people want you to do at a certain point.
Right.
I think you have to release a lot of what you want to do.
Right.
Unless you do become like Elon, who has all the money in the world and can do what they want. I mean, if he wants to go to space, he builds his own rocket. Like, I know that most people don't have that. Yeah, everybody's like, he's going to space. It's like because he built his own rocket.
Did you see the special about the guy who built his own rocket and basically it never really went anywhere, but like he had multiple launches where he did testing and all that.
There's like so many movies about that.
Yeah. No, okay, so I think maybe we have to look at what types of success. So we have people who are successful. Oh shoot, I just lost where I was going with this. People who are successful.
See, I win. You default.
No, I was thinking of this way, where it's like, yes, I think there's an element of who you know when you're right, like making connection, networking. I think there's also an element of God's sovereignty. You take a look at like a Rick Warren who.
You're like all over the place. I picked one genre to highlight, and you're picking preachers and crazy billionaires and all kinds of stuff.
Billionaire playboys. No, because I think that's...
don't know. That's not a good...
That's a right term, right? Okay, anyways.
I would not classify him a playboy. Ooh.
He's like the classic, like he literally was in Iron Man, but I'm like, he's Tony Stark. Like, he's the real world Tony Stark. Am I wrong?
Yes, because he in no way looks like, what's his face?
Just because he's slightly more autistic than Tony Stark. He is.
No, he didn't say autistic.
He said he has Asperger's.
Yes.
Isn't that on the spectrum?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's classified on the spectrum.
Yeah. You're looking at me like I'm wrong on so many levels, but I feel like I'm right.
I just feel like you keep looping back to Elon as your number one example of someone who's sustaining being famous, and I think the reason why is because he can pay people.
But how did he get there? That's the thing.
A lot of government subsidies, man. He knew how to play that one right. You know what I'm saying?
So he was smart. Started out with some smarts.
That's exactly what I said. I said you have to be smart and talented. I never said you didn't.
Okay.
I don't even know what we're arguing about anymore.
I don't know. It's you just.
Okay, this is random draw. Random draw. You ready?
Fired up. Go.
Random draw.
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel when someone teases you? It really says that.
It hurts me every time, and I go and cry myself to sleep. Honestly, you know what's so funny is it legitimately depends. I would say, and you can maybe tell me if I'm wrong here, the majority of things don't bother me. There's only a handful of things and you know what they are, that I'm either self-conscious of, feel embarrassed by, but the majority of stuff, I'm like, yeah, it's me. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell people the things that you don't like to be teased about, just so they know? Just kidding.
You're a horrible person.
I know, it just cracked me up. Okay. So,
Okay, well, no, and I've said this publicly. Like, one of them is I'm still self-conscious about, like, my surgery and how it made my belly feel.
I know.
Look, and so there's one. My bathroom habits.
So you're just going through them.
I am.
I don't even have to do it.
No, I know. I might as well let them know. My bathroom habits, like.
You don't have to go and do it.
Right, but it's like, okay, I can't help some of that stuff.
But truth or lie,
Yeah.
most of the time you're in the bathroom playing on the flight simulator on your phone.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay, here's your second follow-up
Love
question.
flight simulators.
I know. Here's your follow-up question.
Okay.
If I gave you $500 now and said, this is just for you, spend it on whatever you want.
Okay.
You can't spend it on bills or anything
Right.
for our family. What
Okay.
would you buy? What would you
Two
spend it on?
two GoPro cameras to change to add camera angles to our podcast.
Whoa, really?
Yep, I've thought about this. Yeah,
But then you'd have to edit those angles
know.
in. Have
I
you
know.
thought about that?
I did.
And you want that? You want
I do.
extra editing?
Yeah,
Who are you?
I know. I just want to make the quality.
Are GoPros that expensive nowadays?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it takes like stands and all the other accoutrements that come with the
Boy,
GoPro.
do I know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Media, if you're thinking about getting into media, it is a deep, dark hole. Do not do it.
Ooh, ready?
Ready?
Okay, if you could bring any television program back, not reruns,
Okay.
but in new episodes, which program would it be?
It's hard because some programs actually there's certain shows that burned me so bad because they didn't actually finish them that I had to like get over it
Okay, so
because they didn't didn't
Lost?
shut it down.
Lost changed how TV
I know.
episodes, whether it's online or actual
I know.
television, changed how we watch television.
I know because everybody was so angry and
Right.
some of us still are still so angry. So I wouldn't bring Lost back. That can be lost to history as a mess that it was.
I feel like, here's the thing though, is I would like to bring Lost back and have them fix
What they did.
I
Be
need
accountable for what they did. Have a jury of
Seriously,
their peers.
What was that? 7 years, 9 years of my life that I cannot get back.
5 years.
It was only 5. It felt
but
so much
still,
longer.
They
I
had
feel
me
like I
so
wasted
good.
5 years of my life.
And then you have
watching
other
Lost.
shows that were really good when they started and then just wouldn't stop. Like Jack Bauer, 24. Love
So-
the guy, but after a while you're like, how many things can happen in LA?
Here's the thing. That's another TV show that revolutionized, because like they would get rid of main characters without letting you know.
Without mercy.
Just done.
It was such a soap opera. It was a man's soap opera.
Tell what.
Well, that's basically what we were describing, trying to catch my sister up on episodes one time when she's coming to visit. And she's like, so basically it's a man's soap opera. And
Yeah.
I was like, yes, lots of explosions, but yes. A show I would bring back. Ugh. I don't really know. I don't know. I can't think of one right now. Give me a different question.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Atrocity photos. Do they manipulate the public?
Atrocity photos, like
Yep.
of mass genocide and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Manipulate the public.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many follow-up questions to that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Like, are the photos legit? And if they're legit, what are the circumstances surrounding the...
Doesn't matter. Atrocity photos. Do they manipulate the public?
I think it depends on what they're using them for and how they're using them. I think if any photo used in a certain context can be used to manipulate, I don't think taking photos of things is bad. I think that photos, especially in news, have been revolutionary. So, for example, one of my favorite photographers, I'm going to get his name wrong. I I think I want to say Lewis Hine. Gosh, I can't Google it right now. I'm like so like wanting to check it out. Am I right? Anyway, he was one of the first people that brought attention to child work laws and the atrocity happening in the mills and the factories back in the early 1900s, and how these people, these business owners or managers were using these children and abusing them. And the way he did that was he would sneak in to these factories and he would take pictures of these little kids, like 6 years old, 5 years old. These
crazy.
Working 12-hour days, or these little boys working in mines. And the photographs are actually what propelled the movement to get child labor laws created. And so I think photographs are extremely powerful. I think that generally photographs can be used for good. However, we live in an era right now where what you see might not be accurate because of the manipulation software available. So
or how many of one type of photo is being released or footage, as opposed to all of the other
like some, or really what context is being shared about it. Like someone could take a photo of one thing and say it's something else, and how are you to know? And I don't know, I've gotten to the point, especially with social media, that I always question everything I hear from one source. I need to hear it from multiple sources, and if something's not computing, I actually need to figure out why. Like my brain needs to be
so that's it's deductive reasoning, right? It's like, okay, this is not congruent with how my brain is going, so why does this not coincide with what I'm thinking?
I mean, if it's outrageous, am I automatically outraged? It just depends. It depends on who's giving me the information. Are they trustworthy? Have I seen it in another source?
Right.
Is that source trustworthy? There's so many things. It's kind of like BuzzFeed used to just give out all of these like little fun pictures from the internet, and now they're considered a news, like a legitimate news broadcasting company. But they're so slanted, right? Yeah. And so I am skeptical. Yeah. But I feel as a rule that photographs, I'm actually very passionate about photography. I love photography. I think photographs can be used for the good of society as a whole. Yeah. I was just thinking of the Michael Scott quote. This is why I love Wikipedia, because anyone can add to it, and that's how you know it's accurate. It's accurate. Self-improvement techniques have you experimented with? We talked about a little bit about this last week. Okay, so you don't have to hit on what we already talked about, but I don't even remember what we talked about last week. So, which is probably good. Self-improvement techniques. Waking up early, going to the gym early. I have so many because I love self-improvement stuff. I've basically abandoned it this last year. Not any kind of self-improvement. Any kind of self-improvement. You're just sitting on the couch eating chips. No, like give it in completely. No, yeah, ice cream. 100%. So you know this about me, that I am all about routine, methods, all of that, right? Boring. And so yes. No, it's not boring. It helps you improve your life. No, it helps you keep you consistent on things that you should be doing, like a 100%. Therapy every day to keep you alive. Anyways, insert little fiddle. Little violin. Little violin. Fiddle gives it a different feel. Exactly. Someone's doing a jig. Okay, so I'm all about self-improvement. I've in the past subscribed to like all these YouTubers who are self-improvement gurus, you know, all of that. He went through a phase where he was obsessed with Matt D'Avella. Matt D'Avella. And I don't even know what the guy does except for walk around in his house where he just has like a neatly made bed and talk about like ways to be a minimalist. Yeah. And
No, it's
Just little
fantastic.
experiments he does. It reminds me a lot of the girls' favorite YouTubers who do like 24-hour challenges. Matt does a lot of that kind of stuff. Like 24 hours in the pool. And Matt does like 24 hours only whatever,
No,
you know,
okay.
24 days only eating carrots. What happened to my body? Like, and Nathan's like, oh, what did happen, Matt? And he was so obsessed one time. He just kept sending me all these Matt Davila links. It was like, hey, you want to check out this website? Hey, you want to check out this? You want to check? And I'm like, is it all Matt? Like, is it all the same guy? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, honey, you need to step away. You need to take a step back.
Anyways, so I love self-improvement stuff, but what I mean by over the last year of me stepping away from that is because I am so bent on methods and OCD when it comes to structure, I realized God was not able to move me where he so desired because I was immovable. I had my structures. And a lot of this came out of the, last couple of years when I was dealing with depression. And so I had to step away from that, abandon basically all of my methods of self-improvement, structure, schedule, all of that. And it's been incredibly freeing, but also there's some things where I wish I could go back to, but I know I can't.
Like the gym?
No, I go to the gym.
Give you a hard time.
I'm going to eat ice cream.
On the treadmill?
On the treadmill. It's not even going to be going. I'm
Exactly.
Just stand on the treadmill.
Yeah, I got on the treadmill today.
So, no, anyway, so there are things that I really do like and appreciate, but I also feel like, okay, probably I can't yet. So, anyways, if you were in prison, what would you do with your time? That would be like a dream for
I
you.
would love to be in prison. That sounds so bad. No, I don't mean that. I am so sorry if you've done time and you're looking at that going, what is this girl saying? No, I think the idea of being by myself and able to do like quiet activities sounds really great.
Basically reading.
I would read a lot. I would read so much and I would be so happy. And guess who would bug me? Not
all the
very
other
many
inmates,
people.
they would yell, unless you're in solitary confinement.
I was raised with 6 siblings. I can block out anything.
You would have to shank someone to get into solitary confinement.
Listen, I'm not shanking anyone. I'm just reading my book. Leave me alone.
Oh goodness, I had one. I can't find it. This reminds me
Yes.
of the one time I was in the hospital, and I love the hospital. It's like a home away from home. It's like a place that centers me. Love the hospital. So I'm in there for like 4 days, and I'm like, honey, I love this. I don't have the girls bothering me. Like, I can have my laundry the way I want it. I can have my room the way I want it. The nurses are constantly, giving me congratulations on how clean my room is. They're always like, man, you're so organized. Like, I love it. And I was telling Lacey, I'm like, babe, I think I could do prison. I think I got this. And then it was like the 7th day. And I was like, I need people. I can't do this anymore. I'm making sock puppets.
It was not the 7th day. It was the 3rd day. It was not even, the timeline was way different in your head than it was in reality.
So much longer.
You were like crying by the 3rd day. Like, I'm just so lonely.
Oh my word. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. What is your idea of the utopian workplace?
You just did a question for me. Are you doing a second question?
I'm doing a second question.
Utopian workplace.
Yep.
By myself.
Refer back to the prison question.
Exactly. Okay, yes, definitely a lot of that. I love being by myself. But honestly, my favorite work environment is with a really good team. And with team, I mean you're working with a group of people that can communicate well, that you have a relationship with as far as you care about them as people, you care about their lives, and that you're also able to problem solve together. So there's not a lot. I mean, I know it's impossible really to get to the place where there's not conflict, but when there is conflict, that there are tools in place, there is leadership in place that has really exemplified how to work through conflict, and what the value of that team is to take care of each other in the way that we're not going to let things simmer and fester and become these really toxic environments. I've been able to work on teams like that before, and it is so incredible what kind of creativity and
the creativity. It's
just the enjoyment that you have with your coworkers. And so that is actually and then I go and work by myself. Like I go hang out, do a team meeting.
Well, you do the brainstorming together,
right, and then I go work by myself.
You kind of all break off to work on your tasks, and then you come back together.
Like I'm not the kind of person that wants to be meeting with people all day long. That just sounds terrible.
It's hard because I do enjoy meeting people. I think I know why I like meeting with people. Particularly if it's not like a meeting for meeting's sake, like other people leading the meeting. I love leading meetings because it makes me feel important.
Well, I mean, yeah, I like leading meetings too, because then you can end them.
Yeah, when you want them to. Mm-hmm. All right, give me a question.
What 3 questions would you like to ask God? Bringing it down.
Why are
First of all,
how dare you? Second of all, who do you think you are?
Just kidding.
Third, why are you the way that you are? 3 questions. First question would have to be, why spiders? Like, why?
Really? You're not going to be like, why'd you allow me to have a genetic disease? That's not going to be the first one out of the gate. It's going to be spiders.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I feel like there's some redemption with my disease. Like, okay, I could probably sort through stuff. And I'm sure by the time, obviously I'm talking with God, so things have transpired that I'm like, oh, okay, there's some revelation. But spiders are the only thing, like small creatures with more legs and eyes than me.
But I mean, all the bug lovers out there are saying, wait a minute, what about all the mosquitoes and
then I'm sure
yucky bugs they kill?
Yeah, I'm sure
spiders are needed for our ecosystems.
Yeah, but why do we have to have mosquitoes?
So you'd want to do it away with like creatures?
Just ones that have more eyes and legs than me. That's all. Okay. I think that's all I'm saying.
I met a horse with one eye today.
Weird.
I know.
Things with less arms and legs than me and eyes, that's fine. It's the more that freak me out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, dead serious though. I am actually really serious. Why did God make certain creatures?
Okay, that's one. Move it along.
The way they are. Second one would be
that's it? That's all you got, the small creatures?
To be honest, I don't actually have a lot of... Okay, I don't know if you've known this, but okay, over the last couple years, the one question that I feel God has really convicted me of is asking the why question. Why, asking why. God, why did this happen? Because when I ask the why question...
You're not trusting.
I'm not, well, no, it's not that I'm not trusting. It leads me to disappointment.
Okay.
And so rather than asking why, I've had to force myself to ask, okay, like, what do you want my focus to be? Right? Kind of in a proactive direction rather than reactive. Why did you do this? Why did, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm dead serious when I say I don't have a lot of like why questions. I don't have a lot of those because I've had to release and resolve those and say, okay, where am I going? You know, there's always questions like, why is our ministry not as perceivably more successful than what I would like, right? Why do I have a disease? Why did our girls have to walk through certain things, right? All of these things. Why did you have to have like such so many years of feeling sick and all of that? Like, there's things that I want to know, but it's to the extent where I'm like, you know, if I like drill down on those, if I focus in on those, like disappointment really comes back to me. And so I have to be so proactive at not asking the why question, but more, okay, God, where are we going? what do you want me to focus on today? And stuff may come up like with our girls or with you or with me that I'm like, okay, God, here's what I'm feeling about this, but what do you want me to focus on? So when it comes to like questions for God, a lot of them, would be, they wouldn't, that's what I mean is they wouldn't be.
I have 3 questions.
What are yours?
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Okay.
Can I please, pretty please, live by the ocean? Warm ocean.
Okay.
Specifically.
Warm ocean. He brings you to the Arctic or something.
Number 2. Can you please give me an unlimited Visa gift card? Number 3. What did you do with Enoch?
No, Moses.
Enoch.
Walked with God and then was no more.
Yeah. Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I mean, Moses' bones is like a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Elijah's the other guy you're thinking about. But Enoch, that's the one. I mean, he was God's friend, and then God was like, you know what? I like you. And then he just like,
come hang out with me.
and I want to know how that happened, and I think that'd be cool to do that.
I want to ask one more. I'm looking for, spirituality.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready?
Ready.
Ooh, okay. This is a good one.
Okay.
What have you given up for your religion?
My religion. I hate that word.
I know, I do too, but you know what I'm saying.
I think I'm just going to go currently. Currently, the big thing is the control.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing for me that is not big, and it's not a big picture thing. It's a day-to-day.
Yeah.
What is it that I'm trying to control that I need to release?
Yeah.
And that I'm trying to figure out outcomes for, or arrange, or strategize. We've talked about how I love to strategize things. So I think giving up that strategy in a lot of ways is...
the older I get, the more I think even laid back people, I think we all struggle with control.
Oh, 100%.
I think there's people who are like, oh, I'm just like whatever. But what if I tell you that you need to be more structured? Well, you're trying to control me. So you're trying to control my ability to control you, right? We all have that control issue. That's just what I've been thinking about. Okay, ready? This is a good one. And I think I want to end on this one.
You want to end on this one? Okay. Alrighty. Let's do it.
Particularly in our day and age.
No.
Do you think, Lacey, that
Yeah.
the church should stay out of politics?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I'm a person. I'm in a church. I should be able to talk about politics.
Okay.
I mean, that's as simple as that.
But what about people who are like, you're just trying to push your beliefs on other people?
They can think what they want to think. That's the freedom of people having beliefs, is that we're able to have them, right? If I'm trying to control somebody else.
Yeah, but what if your beliefs infringe upon my freedom?
So this is a huge conversation. It's not one to end on because it's huge. It comes down to what you believe, the values, and the agreed upon system that we've put in place for our country is.
Yeah.
I mean, all the politics is just interpretation of that system, that value system. And so my interpretation of it is what it is. And if my pastor believes that and he's leading me, and the women's group later, whatever, because that can turn into craziness. If you say the church, well, define the church is individuals. Well, the church, you say the church is the pastor shouldn't have that. Well, he's an individual too, so he's not allowed to have political beliefs because he might sway people. Well, what about you, who's a big business owner? You're not swaying people. I feel like the people that tout the separation of church and state don't really understand why or what that term actually refers to, and what it actually applied to. And even that understanding is up for debate. I mean, people could probably debate me about that too.
Yeah.
So history to me is something that is really important, and I feel like history is something that is essential to learn for that interpretation and for that understanding of what were those values that were agreed upon for our country, and have they shifted, have they changed. I think the methodology changes in a lot of those things, but I don't think the values themselves are the things that we should be changing.
Do you think that, so like similar to like what you're saying with pastors and all of that, being they should have the freedom to give their thoughts, opinions, because they're people?
Yes.
Do you think people who are famous, who have athletes...
Well, that's what I'm trying to
whatever.
say, is you can't say because someone's influencing, they're not allowed to give their opinion.
Yeah.
Which I don't think most people think of it as. I think they think because they're influencing in a spiritual way, and because they have a skewed interpretation of separation of church and state, they push that a certain way.
So they make church something different than like an athlete.
Yeah.
Well, an athlete shouldn't share their thoughts because I just paid them to be an athlete.
It's this
A singer,
Right.
songwriter shouldn't give their political views because I just want to hear them sing. Okay. Thank you. This has been a great interview with my wife, Lacey.
which that's not my final thought on that. There's so much to unpack in that, but to answer the simple question of should churches stay out of it? No, because churches are made up of individuals.
Well, and I think what you're referring to is the separation of church and state is the idea that the government should not mandate a religion. Am I wrong with that?
I'm not going to unpack that right now. Honestly, I'm not. That's a very detailed and long discussion.
Maybe someday we will have a political podcast. I don't know much about politics. I just have thoughts and opinions, so it wouldn't be a very long podcast. That was fun. Hey, so we highly recommend this.
I don't even know if it's still available. I don't even know if you can buy it anymore.
But on it, like regardless of whether it's this book or not, finding books like this, if you're dating, if you're engaged, finding books that you can ask these questions of. Because I mean, I remember you and I had a book that we went through when we were dating just to ask questions, right?
I feel like you do these plugs for things that we get zero reward for.
I know. No, I said any book. That's why I haven't said.
Good news! It is on.
I haven't said the name yet. So
it's on Amazon.
Okay, good.
So if you want it,
there's a book on Amazon with a title that we're not going to say because we don't get money for it, but we recommend books that have questions. Guys, thank you so much.
Hey, if you send us money, we'll give you the title.
I like that.
Hey, ice cream payment.
That's my wife. Give us money and we'll tell you all the things. All right, goodbye.